Welcome, ladies, to our 9:30 Zoom. Ooh, it's chilly, so let's get warm. We're going to start with a high knee. Belly button is in.
The next workout,
bring those hands just above belly button level. We're going to try to smack our hands with the knee every time. Very good. Nice soft landings here. Want to make sure that we're not stomping our feet. We want to avoid causing too much impact to those joints. So I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see what I'm doing here with my feet, rolling through the foot so that the landing is nice and quiet. So equipment for today, we're going to do a pair of hand weights and a chair. We're going to want a chair nearby. Fairly sturdy if you have it, but if you only have sort of a light chair, that's okay too. And finally, if you have an ab mat like that, go ahead and grab it. However, if you don't, a thin pillow will serve the same. Let's go ahead and bring the arms up. We're going to come up on the toes, right, left with our boxer shuffle. This is the low impact version, sinking down into one ankle and then the other. And let's go and take it double time. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. And if you're ready, you can just pick up the feet just a little bit to turn this boxer shuffle, slightly higher impact and a little bit higher energy. And let's add jabs. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Stop, exercise.
Breathe. Get that breath going. Heart rate's coming up just a little bit for 4. For 3, for 2, and go and bring those feet all the way together. Hips back and down into a small chair pose. You're going to take one foot back, tap it behind you, and tap it in. Very little weight on that foot, and let's pick the pace up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Now the supporting leg is lightly bent, so not stick straight. Building up a little bit of warmth in those legs. Core is nice and tight to help support this little hinge. And the upper body is quite steady with the exception of the arms. We basically don't want to be stepping our weight back. We are balancing on one foot.
Stop, exercise.
4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring the feet all the way together. Come into that chair pose. Just give it little bitty pulses. Active recovery here. Beautiful.
Begin set 3.
And let's switch to the other side. Tap, tap. Good. Excellent, ladies. Core is nice and tight, and if you want to challenge your stability a little bit more, you can bring that knee up to sort of a high knee. Good, nice and steady here. Weight in those heels. Beautiful. We are going to turn the Super Bowl wings into muscle today, because that's how it works, right?
Stop, exercise.
Good. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's take a wide stance, toes turned out. We're going to go into a sumo just to go over proper form. So go ahead and come up and down here. Full range of motion.
Begin set 4.
As we come down, we want to make sure that the legs are pointing outwards, the knees and the toes are on the same plane. So that may mean that you have to hinge your hips back just a little bit. If I come straight down, you see what happens with my knees, they're kind of falling in. You want to make sure that you're kind of sticking your butt back if you need to. Some people are very flexible, can be like ballerina. That's not me. Good. Core is nice and tight. Chest is nice and open. We want to avoid too much hinging like this. Beautiful.
Stop, exercise.
And you're going to go ahead and grab your hand weights. And I get to lose a layer. Love it. Means I'm doing it right. Keeping myself nice and warm. Okay. So the weights are going to come to the front of the body. Palms facing whatever direction you want. You can do in. I'm going to do palms facing me. Come on down. And this time, instead of coming up and down, you're going to give me pulses. Very slow little pulses right at the bottom. Driving those knees apart as if you're pressing them against little white pads. You just want to pry those pads apart. Very good. Now holding weights, if you have, a troubled shoulder, you can always hold just one. Or if the weights are too much, you don't need them necessarily.
Stop,
Just
exercise.
want to make sure that we are challenging ourselves. Very good. Let's drive all the way up. Take a quick little break. And you kind of shift your hips one side and then the other. Beautiful. All right, set 2. We're going to change the placement of the weights so that they're
Begin
right on the
set
top
2.
of the shoulder. Now you notice I'm even resting them against the deltoids here so that I'm not working my arms very much. But what is going to be working more is my core. When the weights are weighted higher up the body like this, as opposed to this, the heart rate is going to come up and the core has to work to support the spine. If your lower back starts to bother, go ahead and tighten the core a little bit more. And if that still isn't great, you can drop it back down
Stop,
here.
exercise.
Very good. Take your break. Whew. I did legs this morning, so I'm not going to be going through any of these breaks because they're already tired. Set 3. Come on down. Weights can be up high like this or
Begin
low.
set 3.
And if your knees are sensitive, you're going to stick with the pulse. However, if your knees are pretty healthy today, you're going to give me a duck walk. You're going to take one foot forward, the tiniest of steps, and the other. Do that 2 more times. 1, 2. Notice how slow I'm going. 1, 2. Good. Then we go backwards. 1, 2. Very nice. 1 and 2. Good. Woo,
Stop,
nice.
exercise.
Go ahead and take a quick break. Shake it out. Excellent. So, one thing that I tend to see a lot with duck walks is people try to achieve the step by torquing through the knee and the foot, trying to scooch the foot
Begin
forward.
set 4.
Don't want to see that torquing through the ankle or the knee. You want to pick the whole foot up and take a tiny step, landing nice and soft. Core is tight. Now backwards. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Take your time. Whew, mama. Beautiful. At the end of this set, this is set 4, you're gonna put your weights to the side. We're gonna go ahead and come on down on our
Stop,
sides.
exercise, and switch to the next station.
Today is side plank. So, all weights down. Going to start you off with a modified. Let's do a bent lower knee, top leg fully extended, elbow
Begin
directly
set
underneath
1.
the shoulder, fingertips up, and we're gonna come right on up. Now, if your shoulder is very sensitive, you can come down for a moment and press up again, down for a moment and press up again. That is absolutely fine. Approaching a side plank just for a second at a time. If your shoulder's pretty healthy, you're just gonna hold it. And if this is too easy for you, go ahead, go right into a full side plank. You always can try if you like. But I'm gonna go into
Stop,
modified.
exercise.
Excellent, go ahead and take this break. Now, if a side plank just isn't an option for you, or it's okay on this side, but it will not be okay on the other side, you'll just go into a regular plank. For me, forward on both elbows. For now, let's
Begin
stick on
set
this
2.
side, just because flipping back and forth can be a big old pain in the butt. All right, so a couple of progressions. Number 1, you can give me little pulses down and then center. You want to make sure you don't go down and then too high up. We don't want to sort of get that overextension through the lower back. It's very small, but you're going to start to feel the lower waist, the oblique right here, burn. So nice. So nice when it gets all nice and warm like
Stop,
that.
exercise.
Beautiful, time to switch. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do this first set in a full side plank. All of the progressions I show can be done with the modified version as well. So,
Begin set 3.
This side, go ahead and give it a test first to sort of check on it. And then if you're ready, you can add those little pulses. One thing I tend to see, ladies, is people will like hinge their hips back like this. You want to make sure that you are a straight line from your head to your feet. Now you notice I just switched up my stance. Before I was doing stacked, totally legit. Now I'm doing staggered, also legitimate.
Stop exercise.
Beautiful, go ahead and take that break. So, stillness is fine, dropping the hips and picking them back up is fine, pulsing is fine, but I'm gonna show you one more progression, just in case you wanna try it. Modified
Begin
or
set
or
forward.
full side plank, pardon me. Arms gonna come up over your head. The top knee is gonna come toward the elbow and replace. So you're gonna come in and press those hips up every time. For me, I tend to like drop my hips a little bit every time I do this, so I have to recheck. Here's what it looks like modified. Right here. Totally legit. Still gonna get that balance working, still gonna get that top and bottom oblique
Stop
working out.
exercise and
Woo.
switch to the next station.
So good. All right, let's turn over onto our backs. So, bridges, always good. Roll the shoulders back and down for me. You're going to bring your feet all the way together for this one.
Begin set
And you're gonna
1.
pick your hips up and hold. And then you're gonna take just your, for me, let's do the left. Take your left leg all the way up and hold it. Now you're gonna keep that leg really straight. You're going to drop it until it's just about parallel with the other thigh, and then slowly bring it back up again. One-legged bridge. Now as that foot drops, you're gonna feel that supporting hamstring have to work quite a bit harder.
Stop exercise.
Beautiful, go ahead and bend that knee, drop your hips, and knees will come into your chest if you would like a little break here. This time we will switch every time. Beautiful, nice deep
Begin
breaths.
set 2.
Good, feet all the way together, hips on up. Right leg this time, full extension, and drop. Now you notice that I'm a little tight this morning. I haven't really stretched much. You can see that I have to have a soft knee when my leg is high, just because I did not get a chance to work on my mobility today. So if that's you, if you need to soften up that knee, that's fine, but you'll just straighten it out once the leg gets farther away from you.
Stop exercise.
Woo, drop those hips, very nice. Lots and lots of work for that supporting hamstring. Now, if this is bothering your lower back, try doing one-legged with just a stacked leg. You can just kind of pulse it here. This is gonna be a little easier on the back.
Begin set 3.
Or if that's no good, you can always just go into your regular bridges. Totally fine. But for me, I can never get as much height on one leg as I can on two. That's normal. Do your best to try to keep your hips as even as possible. It's gonna be tough, but just try. I know. It burns. Good. Belly button in just slightly, just giving you a little bit of support.
Stop exercise.
Very good. Rock the knees a touch if you like, or pull them into your chest. One more set. One more. That's my excited feet that there's only one more set to go. Gorgeous.
Begin set 4.
All right. And at the end of this set, we're going to come on up to standing and grab our weights. So this is kind of how we're going to do it today. We're going to start. A lot of times I do standing, mat, and standing. Today we're doing standing, into mat, back to standing, and then we'll end on the mat. It'll be so nice because you'll get to lie down at the end.
Stop exercise and switch to the next station.
Knees into the chest and roll to your side mindfully, please, and come on up. Time to move into upper body a little bit. You're also going to grab your chair. And a single weight. So,
begin set
we're
1.
going to work on a one-armed bent over row. Knees are soft, please. You're going to hinge your hips back with a nice flat back until your back is about parallel with the floor, and then plant your hand on the supporting chair. Arm is going to come up, and you're going to squeeze that shoulder blade and squeeze. Please do not lock your knees out here. The hamstrings, if they're tight, are going to pull on your lower back. If you soften your knees, it's going to release that pressure. Very good. Belly button in.
Stop
Beautiful.
exercise.
3, 2, 1, and let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Now I want you now, when my elbow comes up, let me see if you can. Yeah, I want you to take a look at my upper back. When I'm pinching that shoulder blade in, you can actually see it
begin
pop
set
up
2.
a little bit. We want a high level of engagement here. A lot of times I'll see people kind of do this, they'll do that elbow, but the back isn't really super engaged. I want to make sure that's every time. Good. Now you notice I just did something here. I was kind of forward on my toes and putting sort of a lot of weight on my supporting hand. And I noticed that. So then I shifted my weight back into the heels and drove my tailbone back to that back wall.
Stop exercise.
Good. Take a little break, drive through the heels, squeeze the glutes to come up. Now what that's going to do is redistribute your weight. That for me tends to be a little bit easier on my lower back. Being up on my toes and having a lot of my body weight over here is harder on my back
Begin
than
set
sending
3.
my weight back and having my body weight be more centered. Good. And squeeze. Very good. Pull the belly button in just a little bit. Now, if this bent over position just really is not doing it for your lower back, you can always take one foot and just bring it back a little bit. That's going to give you a kickstand effect where it supports your back. Good, but first check your form. Are you curling? We really want to send that tailbone back and flatten the back out like a tabletop.
Stop exercise.
Good, and is your belly button in? Drive through the heels, please. Squeeze the glutes to come up. What is that mechanism? Right here, squeeze, it's a deadlift. Always good to practice those little extra movements when
Begin
we're
set 4.
transitioning in and out of stuff. Good, and weight back in the heels, knees soft, just a little bit of weight on my hand. I can do this without the chair at all, but this just provides us with a touch more support, especially if you have a sensitive lower back. The chair can be good because we can practice the bent over position, but we have this to help us. Good. Nice hard squeeze every time. Really want to work that upper back. Beautiful.
Stop exercise and switch to the next station.
Drive those heels, smooth glutes, come on. Go ahead and grab that other weight. We're going to give the lower back a little break by doing some standing upper body work. Let's go ahead and give you a big hip roll. Ugh. Twice around, just releasing any tension you might be feeling
Begin set 1.
in your lower back. And let's go into our bicep curls. Start right here. Good. Beautiful. So, bicep curls with me are never just bicep curls. We're also going to work our stability. So back is getting a break, but our upper body and our stabilizer muscles are not. Good. Now up to you what kind of bicep curls you want to do. Hammer style, like what I'm doing here, is great. You can also do an open palm. It's going to be a little bit more challenging.
Exercise.
Very good. Take a quick little break, just long enough to get yourself into a tightrope position. Heel to toe, as if you are standing on, you guessed it, a tightrope.
Begin set 2.
Soften up those knees just a touch. We don't want to be too locked. And you're just going to give your glutes just a little squeeze. You're going to pull your belly button in just a little bit. And your head pulled up on a string, nice and tall. drive your elbows into your waistline. Good, very nice. You'll notice I'm going a little bit slower here. Sometimes with stability work, you do have to slow things down.
Stop, exercise.
Very good. Let's go ahead and switch our stance. The other foot now is going to come right in front. Good. You notice I did a couple things there. My butt was kind of out in space because I'm like, I'm wobbly. So bring your hips all the way underneath you. Little squeeze the glutes. This time, we're going to bring the weights to the shoulders. We're going to do some shoulder pulses right here. Pull your belly button in. Now the shoulder pulses can be low and close like this, and real small. This is great if you have a shoulder injury or impingement. However, if you want to, you can go wider or you can go taller. Totally acceptable. This is going to be tougher. On the balance as well. Good. Belly button in, squeeze that booty.
Stop, exercise.
Very nice. Go ahead and take your stance a little bit wider. Give me one more hip roll. We're going to finish up our shoulder pulses with a wider stance, just like we did for our first round of bicep curls. So when you're doing your shoulder pulses, again, you can be anywhere. You can be close, you can be wide, you can be high, close, but no matter where you are, I'm just going to move my elbows through space. My forearms are always stacked right on top of my elbows, no matter what. A lot of times, and I'm going to put my weights down because it's kind of dangerous. A lot of times I'll see this where people are kind of here or in, kind of pulsing toward their face, or out or back. We don't want any of those. That is all crazy rotator cuff stuff.
Switch to the next
Fabulous. Go ahead and put your weights down to the sides. We're going to do another bent over exercise with the chair, this time for the booty, because I just can't get enough booty work. So, hands on the chair, both of them this time. And you guessed it, soft knees and weight into your heels. You're going to send, I will start with my left leg back, flex the leg, or flex the foot and straighten out that knee, and we're going to pulse. Good. Now from here, very important that we pay attention to a couple of things. Number one, your leg is supporting you. So sometimes I'll see people do this with a lot of weight on the chair, but you want to be stacked right on top of that supporting leg. Lucy.
Stop, exercise.
Very good. Now what I'd like you to do is drive up through the supporting heel, come all the way up, and we'll go down the same way to switch to the other side. We want to make sure the lower back is flat, not arching and not rotating.
Begin set
So
2.
we don't want this, and we don't want this. We want nice flat lower back, belly button in, and all of that upper pulsing is coming from the glute, not from the lower back, not from a hip rotation, please. What I'm hoping that you will feel with this nice soft knee, it's not a deep bend, but it is soft. You've got your glute work, and this one back here should start to burn, but you should also start to feel those hamstrings.
Stop, exercise.
Good. Drive through that heel, come all the way up. Excellent. We're sort of combining a glute squeeze with what is essentially a one-legged deadlift, if we were to hold it. Good. Again,
Begin
right
set
underneath
3.
you, weight back into those heels, and pulse. Good. Belly button in. Excellent. Now, if you want to entertain yourself a little bit, I'm always for it. You can do little circles with that heel. You want to make sure that all of that movement is originating from the hip, from right here, not from the knee or the ankle. Good, and as you go through, I want you to think about your glutes as you come in.
Stop, exercise.
Inner glute, up, out, outer glute, and down. Very good. Drive through that heel. Come on up. Other side, last one. And heel goes back.
Begin set 4.
And those circles here. Beautiful. All right. At the end of this set, you're gonna lie down on the mat and you're going to grab your ab mat / thin pillow. In a pinch, you can also place your hands under your tailbone. I'll demonstrate that. Good. And I emphasize the thin pillow because if you have a big fluffy one, it's gonna elevate your hips up too much. We just want a small amount
Stop
of elevation.
exercise and switch to the next station.
Goody, Hammy's burning, I love it. All right, so an ab mat, I'll show you, is a wedge-shaped cushion. A lot of people think that this is supposed to go here. No, it goes underneath your butt,
Begin set 1.
like so. And the reason it's wedge-shaped is because you can customize the amount of elevation you get. The more elevation you get, the more support you have for the lower back, but we don't want to over-exaggerate it. Both legs are going to be up, and of course, if you need to, you can always, if you don't have a pillow, place your hands under your butt. Just hold it for this first set. So, our abs are engaged. The hip bones here are trying to connect to the rib bones here, and the belly button is
Stop exercise.
Arms can be anywhere. We're focusing on the lower abs today. I like to put them behind my head, but they're great down by your sides as well. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is keep those abs engaged as you send your heels
Begin
a
set
little bit
2.
away from you, just the tiniest bit. This is our initial working position. You should feel the lower abs begin to engage here. Then, one leg drops. Hold, and pull it all the way back up to the working position, not the rest position, and then the other side. Moving very slowly, but because we're holding that leg in a work position, it's constant work.
Stop exercise.
Good, go ahead and take a quick break, knees into the chest. Now I really want to emphasize that lacing of the hips to the ribs, cinching them closed, belly button in. What that's going to do is keep your lower back nice and flat.
Begin set
The ab
3.
mat is only there to ensure that you don't overarch that lower back. Go down into the working position, hold, drop one leg. Very good, all the way back up. Now you can do this if your abs are strong and your back is okay and you have lots of confidence. You can absolutely do this without the ab mat. You just have to be much more vigilant about keeping that lace and keeping that back flat against the mat.
Stop exercise.
Good. Go ahead, take a quick break. Knees in. Beautiful. And I'm only going to provide one very simple variation for this one. It's going to be just a little bit more challenging. Working position.
Begin set 4.
And you drop one leg. And then you switch. Slow still. And switch. See? Good. Ooh, my abs are shaking, but my back is flat, and it feels good. Beautiful, almost there, ladies, almost there. I know, killer.
Stop exercise.
Woo!
Your training is now
Knees
complete.
in very gently. Please do not grab and pull hard. Gorgeous. And roll to your side. Fetal position. So nice. And come on up. That's your workout, ladies.